To every warrior out there, first, let me say I apologize. I'm late. I'm late. I have a lot of good reasons why I'm late. I want all of you to join in. I haven't been here all week. I've been in DC fighting for you, fighting for our kids, fighting for America. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for joining me. Please, everybody, filter in. I hope everybody, if you are subscribed, you'll know about this. If you're not subscribed and you end up here, please subscribe. I'm not bashful about saying that because we need to talk about, there are so many issues. I have so much to share with you. Let's do a roll call. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I see Fred is here. Frederick is here. William Smith. Okay, 5 by 5 from William Smith. That is good enough for me. So where should I start? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I was on a very important interview that I was doing with a great colleague, Tim Estes. He has a brand new kid-friendly browser. He's been working in AI for 25 years, and it's called Angel Q. And I will be putting this in the body of this video. If you're signed up for our Warriors newsletter, which I sent out Monday morning, go to linswarriors.org, scroll down to the right, on the right side, you can sign up. I call it a national emergency, a national crisis, AI, artificial intelligence, what's going on, especially gearing it towards our children. That interview with Tim Estes will go up tomorrow. And I want everybody, because there was so much information he gave me. I mean, working in AI for 25 years, that I learned so much that I want all of you to understand exactly what this AI is and what it's doing and the underlying manipulations. But however, it's here, right? Like the internet's here, digital, it's all here. So how are we going to leverage it for good? And there's lots of ways to do it. So we need our administration to understand all of this, what's going on behind the scenes with AI, artificial intelligence, and we need to stay on the track of flipping the program, especially for kids, how to utilize it for good. So I have that to say. Lee is here. Hello from North Shields, UK. Welcome. Fred says 5 by 5. Excellent. Where should I start? I've been spending so much time in DC. I was very honored to be at the White House on Monday in the Rose Garden, to be personally invited to watch an historic event, a truly historic event. That is what it was and is. And it was the signing of the Take It Down Act. And it was our president, Trump, and our First Lady together. They both signed legislation. Now, it's the first time First Lady has signed anything, but the president signed it and said, you know, honey, I think because you've been working so hard on this Take It Down Act that you should put your name on it too. And for a minute, she looked a little shocked and happy, and she graciously also signed it. Fred says, let me just digress here for a minute. Does AI have any useful, valuable, workable solutions towards our tasks? Absolutely. That's a whole nother program. That's why I couldn't even begin right now to explain it to you. That's why tomorrow I am urging all of you, when I put the interview up right here on the Warriors, that you listen to Tim Estes, because he explains what's going on. He lays it out. He lays out the solutions. He lays out everything I guess I'm going to say preach at the Warriors, how America is waking up, how families, parents, individuals want solutions, how we're not going to stand for this. And there are so many workable solutions towards things. But I want you to listen to Tim and the way he lays it out. But there's a lot of good in AI, right? But we have to bring it out. It's there. But we're always hearing about the bad and bringing out the bad. And remember, the bad is the one that always makes the money, right? With all of this stuff. But let's get back to the White House. It was truly an honor in this gracious setting, this welcoming setting. We had many members of Congress, you all know, from Marsha Blackburn to Senator Thune to the administration was there in full force, from Ted Cruz to Kristi Noem to Pam Bondi. Everybody was there, the entire administration. It was a beautiful sunny day. And the Take It Down Act is the first piece of child legislation dealing with the internet since 1998. Criminal. But our First Lady, Melania Trump, made it her mission when Senator Amy Klobuchar was at the White House luncheon for the inauguration and brought it to her attention about Take It Down. And we needed help with Take It Down. And we at the Warriors worked tirelessly. And other colleagues and groups and individuals did as well. I'll say it's a small group of us when you look at how big America is, but we worked very hard. And the First Lady took an interest in this and said, I will make it happen. And indeed she did. So this is very hopeful. It's very positive. It was such a lovely afternoon. It was so groundbreaking. And the Take It Down is with the AI, artificial intelligence. We have all of these apps and nude images and creation of things, my head on somebody else's body, your head on somebody else's body. No regulations, no laws, nothing to control all of this. And I'm actually going to post a link to the Take It Down Act. I want you all to read about it, what exactly it is. And a massive media presence, because let's face it, Melania Trump brings everything to the table. There's something about her. Democrats, Republicans, all kinds of people just want to see her. And I could hear. So it was the first two rows were designated for members of Congress and the administration, and I was seated right behind them. And the energy that Melania Trump, our First Lady, brings is you can feel it when she walked out, with her husband. And she made a lovely speech. She is committed and dedicated to these issues. Her Be Best campaign will begin to showcase a lot of these issues. And we're very thankful for our First Lady and our President and that they're taking an interest in this. So again, when I post the Tim Estes discussion we just had, I don't like to say interview, I say discussion. I learned so many things, the underlying factors, because I'm always asking what makes somebody tick? Why does somebody do it? Yeah. We know all of this is about making money, putting it over on us with big tech, controlling our young people, our children, right? Tim explains it perfectly. Again, working for decades in AI, you will understand a lot of things. So it's most fascinating. So you'll be on the lookout for that. Phil Bond says, I watched this, looked beautiful that day. I loved all the pink flowers. The rose garden is beautiful. It was the most beautiful weather. It was blinding sunshine. There's something about being at the White House, being on the grounds, being there, that you really sit up a little straighter. You really take in the history. And some of the other people there said to me, I've never been to the White House before. I've never, the Rose Garden, and very excited. And lots of pictures, and the media covered it massively. And that's what we need. Constant, sounds very simple, raising awareness about issues, showing that this administration is taking an interest, because we've had nothing, but I won't go there, the last 4+ years. And really wanting to help America, help our children. So I am very thankful from the bottom of my heart to our First Lady, Melania Trump. We thank our FLOTUS, and also to President Donald J. Trump. We thank him, and more good news ahead. But Washington is, so much is happening there. But it is so great to see in the hallways, and, when I'm grabbing some food at the Dirksen dining room, the Senate building, you see everybody in there, and everybody talks. Or I met somebody that I've interviewed him a few times, and we could never, he's in Virginia, works in Washington with tech also. And all of a sudden I see him walking by my little table, and he's carrying a little salad. And I'm like, Rick, running into people, and to see the enthusiasm of the young people, because yesterday alone, I went to 32 plus offices, senators, to remind them that we have a bill right now called the Take It Down, not the Take It Down, I'm sorry. I was going to see If I could delete something. Oh, there we go. I did it. Fred's right. She can be very persuasive when she intends to be. That would be our first lady. You're indeed right, Fred. 32 offices. We have something called the Kids Online Safety Act. You've heard me talk about it so many times. KOSA, K-O-S-A. And just last week, it was reintroduced into Congress. And now we are going to pass that legislation into law. So take it down, which simply says when you contact one of these tech companies, whether it's X or Snap or any of them, if you don't take that image down, you will be held criminally responsible. Remember, money talks. So we've got this going on. And it's a little more complex than that. Again, I'll put the link to take it down, exactly the language of it, what it is. You can take your time and read it. You got 48 hours. And if you don't, you're being held responsible. And the other thing is KOSA, the guardrails around some of the big tech. And again, I think I'll list that bill also for you to look at. But I went back to all of these offices over 2 days as well. I mean, it was a real push, a 48-hour push, to remind them they originally supported Kids Online Safety Act. And it's now reintroduced. And we need your support on this bill when it comes to a vote. And believe it or not, you actually have to walk the hallways and remind them, right? Their minds are scattered. They're all over the place. They got a million things going on. A million people want things from them. You go into the offices. You hand them their one sheet. You remind them. You introduce yourself. Very positive. Very positive. This is a no-brainer. I believe Kids Online Safety Act will be, our president will sign it into law. That's happening. And there are a couple of others. We also introduced yesterday into Congress something called the DEFIANCE Act. You know, take it down. We've got civil, we've got defiance, we've got criminal. One is federal, one is civil, excuse me. All these different things, but you've got to be on this 24/7. And we do this all for you. So I want you to understand our Washington work, for all of the donations we get and the support we get and volunteers here in New York. This is what fuels us. This is what we do on a daily basis to further all of this, because we realize so much is going on. We need to do the heavy lifting. We're able to do it for you. It is very hopeful what is going on right now. There are a lot of great things happening. I will point out, though, I shouldn't be a name dropper, but I think I will share, as the kids say, some tea. Let me just address Fred here. When they take it down, it is deleted or just shuffled into the dark web somewhere. Well, here's the thing, Fred, because we know once something goes online, it is there forever, right? So you bring up a complex question of, so many kids say to me, we go into the schools, that's part of our Warriors programming, education, and we talk to the kids and they tell us things and they really think, they'll say, well, I deleted an image, or I deleted that quote, or I deleted, what I said, or once it's there forever. It's there in that mysterious dark cloud. It's somewhere. Somebody's captured an image, uploaded it. They have it. So you ask the question, we're now holding, separated out, we're holding that big tech platform responsible criminally, financially. So what you're asking is a whole different thing. They're really not connected. I know that's kind of a strange thing to say, but at the Warriors, we always think of things as top down. So let's start with, okay, we're going after the platform itself. They're going to lose money, right? And I have to say, we had a couple of tech people in the Rose Garden with us. We had Linda Yaccarino from X, otherwise known as Twitter, or Twitter, otherwise known as X. She assured me personally she's going to do everything in her power. I tend to believe her. To be addressing, to put more staffing on, to help with all of this. I did not see Mark Zuckerberg, but we know he has put profit over human dignity. He has shown it time and time again. And he wasn't going to be in some rose garden. I could have bet he wouldn't be there. Therefore, I'll be rallying in D.C. for, he really needs to be not part of the scene. I'll leave that for another program. I believe we had the CEO of Roblox, tremendous problem. All the kids were on Roblox developing games, playing games, gaming is a big problem. They are making the commitment to us, privately. We are going to do everything in our power. We know this is out of control. We're trying. We are now seeking solutions, and we now have the support of an administration who wants to help us with all of this, right? So it's kind of a win-win. Darlene is here, Dee Dee's here, Rhonda's here. I have to say, though, the two offices, now here's the tea I have for you, as the kids say. Every office you walk into, you have legislative aid, you have a receptionist in these offices. Oh, these offices are all decked out. Whatever their state is, they've got their state everything going on there and giving me bumper stickers and giving me candies and giving me this and that and the other. I mean, you come home, you go in with I go in with my one nice kind of briefcase loaded up with the papers and the business cards and all that. But I got to come out with a trunk, because they want to give you so much stuff. And I calculated my miles, because if you're familiar with our Capitol, it's, several large buildings, right, that house different senators and representatives and so I put everything in alphabetical order. I put them what house they're in, but I walked over 12 miles yesterday, and that's walking the hallways of our government. The two offices, I'm debating whether I should say their names or not. I think I should. Because I have tried to work. Well, I do work. Okay. The rudest office would be Senator Charles, a.k.a. Chuck Schumer. No interest in me and what I had to say. The only office, well, one of two, because I'm getting to the second one. No eye contact, no smile. No, we don't give out business cards because we don't want people to know who works here. Well, I and many other people have the ability to find out who works in any office, because every other office you go into, they have their little business cards and everything's laid out. And a lot of them, when you walk in, that first reception desk has, my name is, Caroline, and their last name. They have their names. So you can say, hi, Caroline. I'm Lynn Shaw, the warrior. Schumer's office, nothing from nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, who would be the person, for judiciary who would be working on Kids Online Safety Act? Well, that's not my job. Only all these offices, right? 2 days of offices, right? Rude, obnoxious, and then says, I'm like, oh, well, okay, let me write the person's name. Let me just write the person's name down who would be handling this, for the senator and communicate. And I'm handing the paper with the bullet points on it to remind the office. You could keep that. We don't need that. Oh, really? And then said to me, we can't really give out names because people get doxxed. Really? Okay. I turned around on my high heels and said, good luck to you. Thank you. Second office, shockingly so. And I will be making complaints to both of these offices. But I got back very late last night. And today, on the move, I feel like I'm still in Washington. But anyway, Senator Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut. And we're working feverishly on Kids Online Safety Act. With that office, you think there'd be a little smile, a little reception. I walked into the office, and there was a big wooden desk, like at the end of the office, very high up, right? Like you can't see a person sitting behind it. And I'm like, gee, I guess there's nobody in this office. It was very strange because and it was dark too. All the other offices had lights on and things going on. Somebody had a full-size cardboard Elvis in the window of their office. And actually it was Tennessee. But anyway, I walk around because the door was open. You can just walk in. I'm like, gee, there's nobody home. There's nobody here. And I walk towards the back where this desk is. And I see the top of somebody's head. I see like hair. And I go, oh, I had to stand on the side because the desk hid the face, which is stupid. I don't understand that in the first place, this kind of desk. But I walk to the side a little bit and I'm introducing myself. And this young man never looked up from the computer. He kept typing away, never, and I'm next to him, never addressed me. Another one who said, yeah, that's not my job. Just like that. So snarky, so bringing out the warrior in me. But, I always take the high road and didn't care what I had to say, didn't receive me. And I finally had to pull the old, well, who I know, something I don't really do. And I said, well, is my friend Colin here? Colin is somebody who works for Senator Blumenthal, who is constantly working with us on the Kids Online Safety Act. He's a tech guy, and he's brilliant and receptive and friendly. I said, well, is Colin here? This kid never looked up from the desk and said, well, yeah, his job is here. He should be here. Okay. May I have your name? No, I don't give out my name. Okay, but is Colin here? I'm not allowed to tell you who's here or not. Oh, okay, because, we work with Colin all the time. So I just wanted to say hello because he's a warrior. Yeah, well, that's not my job. And I finally just said, okay, well, there you have it. And I just walked out. We are constituents. Our taxes pay their salaries. Everybody else was lovely in the offices I went to. Beautiful young people for the most part, engaging, friendly. I met a couple of great, they said, a couple of them said to me, it's my second day. I'm an intern. I chatted with them a little bit, they're so thrilled to be there working and happy. And a lot of them said, I'm learning, I'm meeting people. Genuinely gave me hope for young people. It was great. It made me sad. I was thinking about this, that these people are not paid, these young people. They're paid very little money. That's a lot of the complaints, that they're just so happy to, and the thinking is, oh, they should just be happy they're here. No, they should be paid appropriately. They're young people. They can't afford apartments in Washington, very expensive. A lot of them share, several of them will live in one apartment. Or a lot of them got their jobs because their parents know somebody and can't afford lodging for them. But, I've spoken to a few of them. They want to be there. They'll do anything to work, to learn, to be part of this experience. And we need to pay them appropriately, because I was talking to a friend of mine, and let me give her a shout out, Jan Edwards, Paving the Way Foundation in Florida, doing excellent educational work, true warrior, really good boots on the ground work, right? I don't say that about a lot of people. She's one of the best warriors. I said, Jan, I don't, if they had like older people in these offices who knew customer service, who really knew, she's like, I agree. Because you have people going in and out. You can go to these offices. You can march in there as a constituent, or if there's a particular issue, voice your concerns and how you can get your representatives to help you, or that's the warrior's way. And she said, but they don't even pay these young people. So we started talking about it. So that's why I'm telling you, like, everything is upside down. People need to be paid, not only in Washington. I'm talking about our young people, not our Congress. They're paid, but I still can't figure out how a lot of them have 3 and 4 houses. That's another program, though. How do they do that? Darlene says a lot of people are having to share in apartments. Yes, but I'm talking, Darlene, right now about Washington, the seat of our government. How are we going to get the top kids involved in this? Remember, it's about the young people, our future real adults. Maybe they're 22, 23, 24, still kind of kids, right? Even though technically they're an adult. Our future leaders, if we can't take care of them, kind of thing. Can't take care of, get them involved so we can help them understand how to take care of the rest of America, because that's what's needed. Because right now, look, we've got the Trump administration thrilled with Take It Down, Kids Online Safety Act, Defiance Act was just introduced yesterday. Yesterday there were 8 different hearings that would revolve around all these issues. And Darlene says, yes, exactly. I used to live there. I know what you're talking about. Yes. So we are having these hearings. We're putting these things out in the public. But there's at the same time, I can't help but share with you when I see, a Mark Zuckerberg not attending a presidential signing for child safety. Yet he bought the third most expensive house in the history of the DC area fairly recently. So he's there. When I see him standing behind the president at the inauguration, and as warriors working with parents who've lost kids, to the TikTok challenges, to sextortion, to cyberbullying, right? It's hard to see that person standing behind the president, along with, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. We had Google there at the inauguration when members of Congress could not bring a spouse. But Jeff Bezos certainly could bring his girlfriend, fiance, whatever we're calling her, Lauren Sanchez. So I don't like that kind of stuff. Maybe parents should have been standing behind the president. But I'm very curious why that is. So we have so much good happening with the administration, but then there's a part where big tech, they've got all the money. They've got those lobbyists that get paid thousands of dollars an hour for their initiatives and their language. The hopeful news is with Kids Online Safety Act, they are spending, the coalition of big tech, let's put them all together to understand what's going on right now, tens of millions of dollars to fight kids online safety. They tried it with Take It Down. As far as, look, if you Google things, first of all, when you Google used to be in the day, you Google, you would get the top searches for different things. I mean, you Google now, you get a bunch of ads kind of thing. Again, money-making machine, all of this. But, I wish if you Google any of this, Take It Down, or you Google Kids Online Safety Act, you get a lot of negative press. So you can't believe what you read. Because I'm here to tell you, I wouldn't be involved in anything that doesn't benefit our children or our families or help parents or guardians. So, they rule the roost like that, sadly. And that's what Americans see and think, well, if I read that, or if I saw that on Fox or CNN, this has to be the truth. Because I have a lot of people say to me, oh, I saw that on CNN. I saw that on Fox. You have to question everything. You have to dig a little deeper, a few minutes a day. Maybe it's one thing, one subject. You need to be involved, is what I'm telling you. Edie Crowley absent. Hope she's okay. Yeah, Edie's usually here. You're right. I will have to check on Edie. You are absolutely correct. Okay, when we finish, I'll check on her. Dee Dee says in Australia there are internships of a sort, but much better compensation, I believe. Oh, I'm sure the interns in Washington get paid. I think it's illegal to have them not being paid. They are paid. But the point is, we want to encourage entrepreneurship, young people, get them involved in our government, getting excited. Remember, our future leaders, right? For everything we talk about so they can be on board. Because I'm telling you, the national crisis right now is AI. It has been around for a good 25 years plus. We just haven't realized it. It hasn't been unleashed in the bad way. Maybe it was in some toys and storybooks for kids and, those little nice chat bots that help you when you have a customer service problem or ordering something. So the friendly little things. But now, there's a very dark negative side. But as Tim Estes, Angel Q, pointed out, there's so much great that can be leveraged to flip the switch. And that's what we have to get in there. And because we know the harm will be there. We have to admit reality, right? That's what we do in the Warriors Truths. But we're going to promote and push this good. And I have a lot of hope because our alpha generation, born 2010, so these kids are what? Up to 15 years old. They are pushing back hard. Like, you think you hear that in the media at all? No, like nobody's covering that. They're looking for family time. They're looking for relationships, whether that means, even like, I don't even mean romantic. I mean like friends, like enough with the devices. We're going to use them, sure, but we're going to like put them down because we want real-time experiences, right? We want dinners. We want real books. We want to go to museums and experience stuff. And there's some studies that are fantastic. because Gen Zers, they're angry now and they're starting to come out. Ones we work with, different groups. We have, part of the HEDA initiative, the 30 and under, right? So think Gen Z or, thereabouts, that they were used as guinea pigs with the internet. Like when you explain to them that all these big tech companies care about is making money off of you, you're there because they want to addict you to scrolling and buying. You're the eyeballs. They get incensed, and they're starting to fight back. We have a lot of young people that are coming forward. Very proud of the HEDA initiative. Again, I was part of their Peaceful Meta March here in New York City last month. It was the most well-organized, peaceful, engaging, educational. Parents flew in whose children have been harmed, and to march on the Meta headquarters here. And what does Meta do, which is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp equals Mark Zuckerberg? He unleashes, less than 48 hours later, this AI chatbot for your kids that's going to help them have friends. I'm sure he got wind of our peaceful march and then thought he would just unleash this chatbot. A chatbot is fake, and they want the kids to develop relationships with the chatbots. Tim Estes explains this so perfectly, why that is, right? Why that is, to continue the isolation of kids, right? To keep them engaged. Remember, they make the money. Kids make the money. If you addict them, children are spending ages 9 to 17 up to 9 hours a day on the internet, scrolling, surfing, whatever you want to call it, up to 9 hours a day. I'm going to link this in the body of this video as well. A recent report from, it's called Parent Research / Teacher Research. Up to 70% of parents are very worried they've lost their child to the internet. What do they do? Which is why this Angel Q browser, it's so educational. You can control the browser. You can, instead of, how recommended videos after you finish one video or a movie, or, even when you're streaming things, this is recommended. Once that video or that, whatever they're doing under Angel Q, once it ends, it ends. And the studies are showing, because they're not recommended to go on to something else, the kids and teens will just put the device down and go do something else. You can use it as a tool and say, okay, there's 10 minutes of time left to watch. And the kids are responding fantastic, to this. So that's all the hope we have. There are good things. I want all of you to be part of this. Part of flipping the switch. We're not getting rid of the internet and all this stuff, but we're going to make it good for our kids. We're going to make it an experience, an enrichment experience. I can't say enough good things. I'll be back in Washington very shortly. So many great things are happening. We have a great film coming out on June 13th at the Washington Film Festival that the Warriors will be a part of. The premiere will be on June 13th, and it's called The Right Track, and it's actually survivors that I now want to call thrivers, because these women in particular are very brave, and sharing with the public exactly what this is, but how they've changed and empowered their lives, because they don't want any other kids or families to go through all this horror, right? Dee Dee says 9 hours. That's ludicrous. That's what it is, Dee Dee. That's what the studies show. It's crazy, right? It's just crazy. Darlene says, I'm an adult and I have a difficult time turning off the feed. Yes, everything we talk about applies to adults as well. Whether it's Take It Down Act, that applies to adults. Kids Online Safety Act, well, that's kind of geared for the kids. But, Defiance Act, all of this, also adults, but we're focused on the kids. I can't stress enough the kids, called the anxious generation, the very well-defined, the studies with the youth mental health crisis. And this is the United States of America. We're supposed to be the global leaders. We're supposed to be, I really wish we did follow China's, what they do with kids, 40 minutes a day on TikTok. That's it, shuts down. Educational material. That's why I'm so excited about Angel Q, the browser. It is enrichment. It is educational. It is working with your child to find appropriate content. It also rates, because the ratings, in whether it's the Apple App Store, whether you're streaming things on any of these shows, what are they, mature audience or plus 13, whatever these ratings are, they don't apply, because things they call kid friendly are really not, because there's a lot of sexual content, dialogue, images. And so it is absolutely incredible that you can go to the Apple App Store and something will be like, 12 plus. And then it's a completely kind of adult subject matter content. And we have to call them out on that. And that's why the HEAT initiative, which we're part of, calls out these big tech companies. And that was the movement HEAT initiative that we're part of behind the Meta March we did last month. And also it was done with Apple here in New York. And we'll be going around the country, right, with these issues, just to make you aware, to get you can come be with us. So if the Warriors, if I say to you, okay, we're doing this in New York, please come join. Please, if you're in the New York area, this is stepping up and being a warrior. So with that, let's see if I missed anything. And we're just talking about screen time, the content. Yeah. I want to share with you that Washington is looking good. They've got their hands full. They're unraveling, they're building, they're cutting, they're slashing. But I have a feeling there is so much hope, so many great things. The new administration just started a few months ago. I have full confidence they truly have an interest in our children, our families, that we're going to be seeing a lot of great things in the coming months. So thank you to all of you who have supported the Warriors, have been along for the ride. I will keep you aware of what's going on in Washington, because it's so great to share good information, because I really haven't been able to share it in the last couple of years. And I want to just say, please stay with us. Please make sure you sign up for the newsletter. Please make sure you keep an eye on AI. Please make sure you share our videos. It is most important on your social media platforms, as I put that in quotes. It's about getting the information out, and it's also about getting resources out. So today I leave you with Angel Q, the browser that I'll put in the body of the video, is everything I could have dreamed of, and it's here to really help our children have a great experience online. Because remember, it's not going away, the internet. So let's have some good. And Dee Dee says, I'll be with you in solidarity from Australia. I wish New York love. Thank you, Dee Dee. That makes me happy. But I want all of you, remember one thing. If you do one thing, awareness, I have two things. If you have any children or grandchildren, that you make sure you talk to them. It's not them versus us. It's partnerships. And that you talk to them open and honestly, age appropriately. Because remember, when parents say to me, I don't want to open a can of worms. I don't want to, pornography, for instance. We'll do that in another program. Vicious, violent, horrible, corrupting our children's minds. It's not cute little, I know we're a family program, sex videos. It is horrendous categories that I can't even say to you. That kids are not even looking for it. It's there. Or an algorithm will direct them there if they're researching something. Once seen can't be unseen, right? Or kids are going to keep looking for it then. But what I'm saying to you is we have to talk, because the predators that are increasing as we sit here and talk and getting away with it, no accountability, they're showing our kids things. They're showing us things. And what is this? We're the warriors. We're in charge. And I want you to be along with me. So thank you to everybody who came along. I'll have more DC news. Just know right now we're in a good position. Things are happening. And the Take It Down Act is the most historic piece of child legislation to protect kids, to help families. That has happened since 1998. Can you believe it? So thank you, warriors. We will speak again soon.